Hello and welcome to this musical edition of Encore. I'm Jade Barker. On the show today, rock or bust. Veteran Australian rockers AC/DC keep up their go-for-broke attitude, releasing their 16th album without their founding member. Plus, finding London soul. We'll tell you why Mary J. Blige is recruiting English acts for her latest record. And then there were three. Take That 7th studio album comes out minus two of the original members, Robbie Williams and Jason Orange. Our music critic Mark Thompson is here to take us through all this and lots more, so let's get started. Hi Mark, great to have you with us as always.
Hi Jade.
We're going to kick off this music show with Australian rock royalty AC/DC. They've got a new album out called Rock or Bust. The question is though, did the veterans still have it? We'll give you a chance to decide for yourself. Let's take a look now at the title track. Mark, they sing it themselves. It's rock or bust. What's your opinion? More of the former or the latter?
You know what? I'm actually pretty impressed. They've got a formula, it works, why change it? I mean, these songs probably won't have the longevity that Back in Black or Highway to Hell have, but as good, honest rock songs, they're pretty... They really do stand up, especially at the moment when it's quite rare to hear this kind of music. You hear the very clean dance and soul, but in the pop charts you don't really hear anything like this, so it's really nice to hear.
They certainly seem to have a formula and they definitely stick to it, but they've also been making headlines for a lot of the wrong reasons lately. Is this a case of growing old disgracefully?
Well, is one member in particular, Phil Rudd, who I think it's safe to say is now the former drummer of AC/DC. He was in court last week on the charge of attempting to arrange the charge of attempting to arrange a murder has been dropped, but he still has the charge of threatening to kill and the possession of drugs, so he's definitely growing old disgracefully. Sadly though, we have lost another member of AC/DC, which is Malcolm Young, who's been diagnosed with dementia, and he actually now needs to be looked after in a care home, so it's really sad to see that, especially with Angus Young still touring with the band.
Yeah, definitely very sad, but they do look like they are still going strong.
Very much so, yes.
All right, well, let's jump across to the other side of the world now. And US soul singer Mary J. Blige has worked with a host of young British musical talent to create her latest album, The London Sessions. Mark, how did this collaboration come about and why?
Well, where'd you go if you're the Queen of Soul and you've done pretty much everything there is to do? Well, apparently London, and that doesn't surprise me because there's a lot of really good young English acts really making themselves successful both sides of the Atlantic. It makes a very reasonable... It makes sense that she would go there. She also says that she wants to work with a lot of British producers. This comes with her work with Disclosure at the start of the year, which really was a really good hit single, which was F for You, that was released in January. Right,
well, as this American singer explains as well, there's still a lot of herself in this album. Let's take a listen.
I'm Mary J. Blige, and I'm going to always be Mary. My vocals are Mary. This tone of my voice is Mary. The way I walk, the way I talk, the way I think, speak, all that. It's all in this music.
Why would I spend the rest of my days unhappy?
I constantly have dreams and things I want to do, and I'm just not going to stop. As long as I'm living, I'm going to keep just doing what I love. It keeps me alive, you know. It keeps me living to express myself. We have to have some form of therapy in our lives, and this is it for me.
I don't want to be around me, and I don't blame you if you're blocking all my calls.
The idea was to do a whole EP with Disclosure. And I was speaking to Steve Barnett from Capitol Records. That's a great idea. He said, but how about we don't do an EP with Disclosure and we just do an album in London and call it the London Sessions and surround you with all the different producers and writers, and that's how the London Sessions was performed.
You take from me, so why you holding back? Boy, why you holding back?
I absolutely hope to reach the French you know, and have them get to know me on another level now, and just the world, have them see me in a whole nother light, and hopefully accept that.
I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you right now, no one won't play this game with you.
Definitely keen to check out more of that album. Looks very interesting indeed. Well, talking of British talent, love them or loathe them, boy band Take That have been dominating the charts for decades now. But for their latest record, called 3, they're down 2 members. Mark, what impact has this had on the record?
Yeah, they've been around 22 years. For some of us, it may feel their entire life. Jason Orange bowed out earlier this year. He basically said that he didn't really have the energy for another tour, another record right now. We might see more of him in the future, though. So we've only got 3 of them, but it's pretty much what to expect from a Take That album. They'll be coming to all your British weddings and children's parties in the next year or so. I don't think Taylor Swift will be that worried, though. It's very much what you expect from their pop, especially Gary Barlow-written pop. It's very clean, very catchy, but not very dramatic. They're still very hugely popular, though. They've just knocked Band-Aid off the singles chart, and they were the most pre-ordered album on Amazon this year.
Right, well, let's take a listen to that now.
Take me back to where it all began, to where our memories grow before they take us all. Tonight, we're gonna live for these days. Tonight,
Right, that was These Days from Take Now. But they're down to 3 members, but perhaps not for too much longer.
No, maybe not. As I say, Jason Orange has bowed out of this project, but in a couple of years' time, in 2017, we're being promised that they're going to go on a reunion tour for their 25th anniversary. That is going to include Robbie Williams, we're told. We'll wait and see if that actually happens. Coincidentally, he also has an album out today. He's released it online only. It's made up of singles that he actually wanted to put on other records, or he wanted to tour and was never really given the opportunity. Let's say that he says it's for his fans, his friendlies, and also the mentals. I'm not sure if that's a compliment to his fans. Let's have a listen to what he had to say about these songs, though.
So, here's a bunch of tunes that I'm, like I say, very proud of. Love to bits, and want you to hear them, otherwise they're just going to remain in my computer. Under the Radar Volume 1 is an album for you all, the friendlies and the mentals, on RobbieWilliams.com.
Love the cat.
Adorable.
All right, well, from Britpop to hip-hop now, Wu-Tang Clan's A Better Tomorrow should have marked the 20th anniversary of their debut album last year, but intra-Wu relations stymied its release. So is it a bit of an ironic title then?
To some extent, yeah. Raekwon actually said that the chances of a record coming out was basically like trying to walk up a mountain with slippers on. That's how difficult it is, mainly because of his relationship with another member called RZA, and they've been fighting for creative control pretty much since ODB died, and this kind of comes over in the record. It's not really a unified record, and it's very hit and miss. Sometimes it does feel very forced rather than something that came quite organically. There are some great songs though, and at times it does like look at their great work in the mid-90s when you really had the second era, golden era of hip-hop, and so it's nice to hear them like back to their best at times, but I don't feel this is worth a full album though. Let's see what you think. This is Ruckus in B minor.
Snow heavy, sick made Nick Cage, high ride with fire, forever with bars, sorta like a life, but with the son of anarchy. I be breaking bad, walking dead, daydreaming and making the band, dancing with the stars. Americans idol me, the mentalist with the big bang. Still number one, still number one, still number one, one, still number one, still number one, still number one, one.
Right, next we've heard the English version. Now it's time for the French. Former First Lady Carla Bruni-Sarkozy is fronting a Gaelic version of Band-Aid called Noël est là, which translates to Christmas is here, to help raise funds to tackle Ebola in West Africa. Mark, how have they made the song à la française then?
well, it's in French, for one. They've changed a few of the lyrics, although the melody is very much the same. Also, the English version was a lot of new, upcoming English talent, whereas this one feels it's more of a nod to a lot of the older French artists. We do have the likes of Zaz, Skip the Use, Le Douillon, but you do have Yannick Noah, Carla Bruni, as you say, Nicolas Serkis from Indochine. It does feel a lot more like it's the older generation taking their hand in this. Now, the English single has come under a lot of criticism, so it's actually not surprising to see a lot of the bigger names, say Daft Punk, Johnny Halliday, David Guetta, not including themselves in this record.
All right, well, let's see who is in it. This is Noël Ella.
Malgré tout, pour nous, Noël est là. Malgré tout, pour nous, Noël est là. Oh, malgré tout, pour nous, Noël est là.
We're talking of French musical talents. It's been 2 years since Trio's last studio album, but they finally have something new for the fans, right, Mark?
They do. It's their 20th anniversary next year, so I think they're building up to something. They've released an acoustic album where they've covered classic chansons françaises, and they asked their fans to submit requests via social media, and they picked their favourite ones. Among them, we've got Renaud, we've got Dutronc, Bernard Levillier, and they've also been taken on this trademark Trio ska twist, which we kind of expect from them. Now, Trio are known for really singing songs with a very political edge, and I think they've handpicked some songs which really go aligned with their previous songs.
Right, well, we're going to leave you now with Trio covering Jacques Dutronc's L'Opportuniste. Thanks, Mark, for coming in and sharing your musical knowledge, as always. Thank you at home for tuning in. Don't forget you can get more music and culture news on our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. Enjoy and see you for more culture soon.
Il y en a qui contestent, qui revendiquent et qui protestent. Moi je ne fais qu'un seul geste, je retourne ma veste, je retourne ma veste, toujours du bon côté.